Hi. Okay. I'm going to explain to you what was wrong with society today. What's really going on here, and this is all about chi or prana in Hindu. Um, or the reason that people like social workers and people like that they hold on to people like me and my mate. It's because we have good energy and we always have energy um, and apart from just something that we have in common is that we don't actually care what other people opinions about our lives and stuff like that, so we're completely free of giving care. Do what we want to do because we don't care what other people think, and we don't care what society thinks, and we don't care about being judged by people. Whereas most of these people, like these people, will always be a slave because they can't they care too much about it. It's too important to them what other people think of them. Therefore, they'll always be their slave. Like, but anyway, me and my mate have this in common. We don't give a fuck. And so these people, anyway, they have all this bullshit notion in their head that social workers, stuff like that, where they're holding on to you for like years, like that. Like, they actually want was really going on there. They want to know what your secret is. And they have all this bullshit social conditioning in their head that they're projecting onto you that they think is the reason, and it's all this bullshit, oh no, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you need to change this, you need to change that. But what they really want to know is how we have such good chi and how we maintain our energy level, that we always have like a supply of chi, like our battery's always full. um and that's okay. So but yes, this is what the reason that, but see, what they don't understand is like that the reason that they aren't they need to find that they on some subconscious level want to know this, and they're holding on to you, which is like the biggest sin you could do, is to take somebody's time like that, like for years, especially like they hold on to them for years, and just but they want to know the secret. They want to know our secret. What our secret is why they're holding on to us. All this stuff is just a bullshit premise, social conditioning, projection premise, like that they're using. They think is the reason, but it's not. They want to know how to manage their chi or their prana, and the reason that they don't have a problem with their chi, managing their chi or their prana, which is like that basically that they're depleting their own supply, because what they're actually doing is right. Say this is a Pakua point. This is a 3.3 finger widths below the navel. Like here, located here, right here is the seat of the soul. Um, that's where like a ball of energy, your life force itself is like your sun is seated there, in its natural resting place. They're using their willpower, which comes from the solar plexus here, and it's not natural to use your willpower the way that society has people using their willpower. So what I mean by that is like when somebody wakes up in the morning, right? If they're not jumping out of bed with enthusiasm to go to work, then that's not what they're using their own willpower to force themselves to go. Then they're pushing, they're basically pushing themselves to make themselves go, and by doing that they're using their willpower in an unnatural way, and they're depleting their own supply by doing that. If they do it every day, over time they're just taking away and it's not getting recharged. But that's because they're using their will in a way that's not natural, that society has us doing. And that's the secret is that they, and because if they're not jumping with joy to go off and do what they're doing that day, that means that they are forcing themselves to do, and they're using their will, like literally cut out here, in an unnatural way, like pushing themselves, and that drains all of their energy, their life force energy. Um, and that's what they on a subconscious level, that's what they want to know, is how to manage their prana. Like, because me and my mate have very good chi, we've got very good energy, we've got very good relationships, we've got very healthy minds and healthy bodies. But that's because we don't jump out of bed in the morning and make ourselves do something that fucking we don't want to do, don't particularly want to do every day for years. And they're draining their own life source because it's an entirely unnatural way for your will to use your will. And to do it over and over and over and over and over again is to completely deplete, you're to very, very slowly drain away your own life force. And they don't realize that that's what on the back of their heads, what they want to know is why they have, like, why their chi is not like yours, like, because ours is exceptionally good. So yeah, the reason, one of the reasons is because but that's the problem here for them is that we don't care about what people think. So we do what we want to do because that's what comes, like, healthy and natural to, feels healthy and natural to us, is obeying or following our heart. And you have to, like, they have to admit that, seriously, you can't really say that they're following their hearts anymore at this stage. Like, sure, probably maybe they were when they started the job, but by now, like, it's time for a change, like, and a change of pace in their lives. And they don't realize that they're actually doing that because they want to know how to manage, maintain their own chi well. And they will never be able to do it as long as they are afraid of other people, society, what society thinks about them, opinion about them and their lives. And they'll never be able to break free if they don't, if they won't, if as long as they care too much about what society and other people think, like. So, but it's the biggest sin ever to hold us because it's entirely subconscious reason, and they're just projecting, and it's because the projecting of this social conditioning bullshit, it makes it very, very negative for us, like, and it's a very negative experience all over. And there's no bigger sin you can commit than, not really many bigger sins you could commit than chaining somebody for over time, like, which I would never be chained if it wasn't for my children, like, they'd never have me in a million years, like. But yeah, so that's what they really want to know. They're using their willpower in an unhealthy way, and every day, and they're draining their own supply. That's and that will just continue as long as they're doing that. Like, that's like, your alarm going off, waking up, getting out of bed, shoving some toast in your mouth, going to work, going to school, like, it's all an entirely unnatural way to use one's willpower. Like, one's willpower happens organically in a spontaneous moment. It doesn't happen because of this is absolutely, like, it's depleting. It's depleting. It'll make you old. It'll make you wrinkly. It'll make you grey. It'll make you fucking ill health at the end of your life. All just because you're using your willpower. You're pushing yourself to do something that you're not jumping out of bed with joy to go and do. So there you go. That's the secret. But as long as you care about other people think about how you live your life, you will never be free. Like. So yeah, that's all I can say. And just that it's a crime against nature, like, to chain people like me and my mate like this, because we didn't do anything wrong, and you just want to know what our secret is.